At 65, Freddie Roach finally stopped protecting feelings, and boxing hasn't been the same since. The Hall of Fame trainer who built champions behind closed doors just named the 6 fighters he hated working with the most, and the reasons are brutal. This isn't internet drama or tabloid gossip. It's raw truth from a man who's seen egos destroy greatness, talent wasted by arrogance, and careers ruined before the first bell. Some names will shock you. Others will make perfect sense. But every story exposes the dark side of boxing fans never hear, until now, from the sport's most feared trainer alive. At 65 years old, Freddie Roach has nothing left to prove in boxing. He's already cemented his legacy as one of the greatest trainers the sport has ever seen. From turning Manny Pacquiao into an 8-division world champion, to molding legends, contenders, and Hall of Famers at the Wild Card Gym, Roach has seen it all. The wins, the losses, the betrayals, the egos, and the ugly side of the sweet science that most fans never get to witness. And now, in the later stage of his life, Freddie Roach is finally speaking more openly than ever. Recently, Roach shocked the boxing world when he candidly named the 6 boxers he hated working with the most during his legendary career. And when Freddie Roach says hated, he doesn't mean personal grudges or petty drama. He means fighters who tested his patience, disrespected the craft, ignored discipline, or made life inside the gym an absolute nightmare. This wasn't about skill. Some of these men were champions. Some were incredibly talented. But talent alone doesn't make a great fighter, and according to Roach, it definitely doesn't make someone enjoyable to train. The first name that raised eyebrows was one fans might not expect, because on paper, this fighter had everything going for him. Speed, power, charisma, and massive hype. But Freddie Roach revealed that behind closed doors, this boxer was one of the most frustrating human beings he ever had to deal with. Roach explained that the fighter refused to listen, constantly questioned instructions, and believed he knew more than the trainer, despite never accomplishing what he was capable of. According to Roach, the worst part wasn't the arrogance. It was the wasted potential. Watching a fighter throw away greatness because of ego, Roach said, was more painful than any loss. Another boxer on Roach's list was someone with serious knockout power, but zero discipline. Freddie described endless missed training sessions, late arrivals, and excuses that never stopped. No matter how many opportunities were given, the fighter kept sabotaging himself. Roach admitted that he tried everything: encouragement, tough love, even public accountability, but nothing worked. Eventually, Roach realized that you can't want success more than the fighter does, and that realization, he said, was one of the most exhausting lessons of his career. Then came one of the most controversial names on the list, a fighter who was already a star before walking into Roach's gym. According to Freddie, this boxer treated trainers like employees instead of mentors. He demanded special treatment, refused conditioning routines, and surrounded himself with yes men. Roach said the environment became toxic fest. Every session turned into a power struggle, and instead of focusing on boxing, Roach found himself managing egos. He admitted that this was one of the rare moments in his career where he felt relief when the partnership ended. One of the most surprising revelations involved a boxer who fans often praised as humble and professional in public. But Roach peeled back the curtain and revealed a completely different reality. Behind the scenes, he said, this fighter was passive-aggressive, unmotivated, and mentally checked out. Roach explained that training isn't just physical, it's emotional and psychological. And when a fighter doesn't care, it drains everyone around them. Roach said this boxer never truly believed in himself, and that lack of belief infected the entire camp. Another name on the list came from early in Roach's career, back when he was still proving himself as a trainer. This fighter, Roach said, constantly undermined him in front of others, questioned his experience, and tried to assert dominance. At the time, Roach was younger and less established, and the disrespect cut deep. Looking back now, Roach says the experience hardened him and taught him how to command a room. But at the time, it was one of the most miserable periods of his life in boxing. The final boxer Roach mentioned was perhaps the most heartbreaking. This fighter had immense heart, courage, and fan support, but also severe self-destructive habits. Roach spoke quietly when discussing this one, explaining that addiction, poor choices, and a lack of structure ruined what could have been an incredible career. Roach said he didn't hate the person, he hated watching someone destroy themselves while everyone else stood helpless. He admitted this fighter still weighs on his mind today. What makes these revelations so powerful isn't the negativity, it's the honesty. Freddie Roach didn't name these fighters to shame them. He named them to show the reality of boxing, the side fans never see. Training isn't just myths and motivational speeches. It's babysitting grown men, managing chaos, and fighting battles outside the ring that never make the highlight reels. Roach also made it clear that for every fighter he hated working with, there were dozens he loved. Fighters who listened, sacrificed, respected the process, and gave everything they had. And that's why the bad ones stood out so sharply. Because they broke the unspoken contract between trainer and fighter, trust. At 65, battling Parkinson's disease, and still showing up to the wild card gym, Freddie Roach has earned the right to speak his truth. His legacy isn't just about championships and belts. It's about wisdom. And one of the biggest lessons he leaves behind is this: boxing doesn't fail fighters, fighters fail themselves. Fans may debate the names. Fighters may feel offended. But one thing is undeniable: when Freddie Roach talks, boxing listens. And these 6 names serve as a warning to the next generation. Talent will get you noticed. Discipline will get you trained. But respect and dedication are what keep legends in your corner. And as Freddie Roach continues to pass down his knowledge, one thing is clear. He may have hated working with those 6 boxers, but boxing itself, he still loves with everything he's got.